Something weird happened yesterday. Posted by human_in_hell. So my school's really big, and my 5th period is on the top floor, which is the 4th floor. When you get up there, you can see a little platform. I have no idea why it's there, but I never really checked to make sure I'm on the top floor, since that's the only floor you can see the platform on. Anyways, I got up there, saw the platform, and turned right to go to my class, and realized that nothing looked familiar, and I didn't see my teacher's giant flower decoration on the wall of the hallway. Obviously, I thought I was on the wrong floor. So I walked to the end of the hallway, where there's another smaller stairwell to go up one more floor and go to my class. But there was no stairs going up. I was on the top floor. But my class wasn't there. I walked out, and there was my teacher, standing outside the class next to her giant flower decoration. I lost my bad headphones and found a better one in my closet. Posted by _sheer0. Sorry if it's not that much of a glitch, but I couldn't think of any place better, and I found it interesting. So, my mother has bipolar disorder, and she isn't aware of it. Doesn't take any meds, doesn't go to a therapist. Her aggressive episodes are pretty tough, and I can't always deal with it. I know, I should get help for her, but I already tried. And dude, honestly, it's not my responsibility. I'm underage, for fuck's sakes. So, she got an episode this evening, and I decided to go out for a walk. I put my headphones in my pockets. I clearly remember. On the left side, it doesn't always work, so I had to tie the wire with some stuff so it stays in place, so it would be easily recognizable. I go out for like an hour, but I didn't use them. I was chatting with some friends and then came home. Put down my stuff, put away my jacket and everything. I didn't realize then, but it seems like it wasn't in the pockets. I wash my shoes and put them away. Then I go to bed, but there are no headphones. I go look in my jacket, my pants, then on the table next to my key. Then in the bathroom, kitchen, toilet, even in my fucking shoes. Maybe I lost them outside when I took out my keys. Maybe by accident I pulled them out too and it got lost somewhere. I figure there's nothing to be done about it. I go to my closet to get something else. I open it, then see headphones. Clearly not the one that I had been using, and not the previous one, because it was green, and what I see is white. I plug them in, and both sides work. And oh boy, they work very well. So, thanks Jesus for the new headphones, I guess. Lost Time. Posted by Curse J. A little background. This happened in Minneapolis in the late 90s, and this happened about 20 years ago, and I still can't explain it. I picked up my friend to go out one Saturday evening. We were both 20-ish females. I was driving and we were blasting the tunes and laughing, ready for a fun night out. To get to our destination, we needed to hop onto the freeway for like a quarter mile and then off at the next exit. I turned onto the freeway on-ramp, not realizing it was under construction. Like a dummy, not paying attention to the ramp closed sign. Suddenly my friend screamed, "Look out!" The road was just gone. We both screamed. In front of us was a great big construction hole. But the next thing either of us remember is being at our destination. There's no way we could not have crashed into the hole. We didn't even really talk about it until days later. It was like we both just forgot about it. I drove past the exact spot soon after. It was a giant hole. How are we here, alive, not injured, car not scratched? And what happened to those 5 or 10 minutes between realizing we were going to crash and being at our destination? Update, clarification. Neither of us remember waking up or anything like that. We both have no memory between driving straight into the hole and being at the destination. We didn't even realize time was missing until we spoke about it later. When I say I drove past the ramp close sign, in reality, I never saw any sign, and as far as I know, the sign wasn't there. When I drove past that spot a few days later, it was clearly marked. In fact, it was barricaded. There's no way we should have gotten far enough to see the hole. It was like the road was there, as it normally is, and the big construction hole suddenly appeared. Alternate reality? Time travel? Hand of God? Have all been posited as explanations. I really don't know what to think. How does ink change color? Posted by Spooky-Bumblebee. I recently found this sub and thought I might tell my little story. So my birthday was a few months ago and I recently set up a small business. So my best friend, Anna, gifted me a pen with my business name and logo printed on it. It's pretty cute. And I really liked the thought of using a personalized pen when I was organizing appointments, etc. I tested the pen on the back of my hand, and unfortunately it was blue ink. I hate blue ink. It hurts my eyes when I write more than a couple of lines and just prefer the look of black ink in general. I showed Anna the ink on the back of my hand. She also prefers black ink and was disappointed it was blue because she wasn't able to specify which color ink when ordering and had been hoping black would be default. Anyways, I had the pen for a good while and never used it until this week. I met Anna and we were in her car when a client called to make an appointment. Blue pen was the only pen I had on hand, so I reluctantly used it to write down the details of the client and appointment and all the usual stuff. When I had finished with my call, I silently showed Anna what I had written. The ink was now black. Neither of us can explain or understand this. She and I both remember the blue ink that is now black ink. Bakery out of business. Or was it? Posted by Durbeck_Von_Wyman. There was this bakery in the center of town that many of my colleagues and I have bought pastries at. It had been there for years. One day at work last year, everyone at work was commenting on how the bakery had gone out of business and how disappointed everyone was that it had closed down. Driving by the storefront, the bakery was closed, dark inside. Business space for rent signs in the windows, and the bakery sign was taken down. Day after day I drove past that spot. Dark, for rent signs, bakery sign gone. After about 6 months, I happened to be driving by and saw that the sign was back up and the bakery was back in business. The next day at work, I commented to some colleagues about the good news that the bakery had returned and was back in business. Everyone looked at me strangely, and one of my colleagues asked what I meant by back in business. I reminded them how it had closed and had gone out of business. They informed me that the bakery had never been out of business and closed. Never been empty. Sign had never been taken down. I am positive that I saw it dark and empty with for rent signs in the windows and the bakery sign gone for a period of months. I heard all those people talking about how it had closed and how disappointed they were that the bakery was closed, out of business, gone, and I'm the only one who remembers it. I had a time slip. Posted by Barrow Todd. I would like to tell you about a time slip that I experienced. It wasn't huge, but it was enough to leave me bewildered for the rest of the day, and almost a year later, I'm still confused by it. So my average commute home from work is about 35 to 40 minutes if I drive through town, and about 25 to 30 minutes if I take the highway. I usually drive through town just because I find it a bit easier, and I don't mind the little bit of extra time that it takes. So on this day, I had just finished work for the day and then headed over to the grocery store next to my office. I grabbed a few things and was waiting in line when my wife texted me about the kids. She was having a hard time and wanted me home. So I decided that once I got out of the grocery store, I would take the highway home and get there as quickly as I could. I loaded up the car and jumped in, checking the clock as I started the car. It was 4:30. I then sent my wife a quick text telling her that I was on the way, and again my phone said it was 4:30. In my head, I thought, okay, I'll get home around 4:55 or 5 o'clock. Not bad. So I left and drove home on the highway. Nothing weird happened, and it was a completely normal drive home until I arrived and put the car in park. I looked down at the clock just as I was about to exit the car, and the clock read 4:36. I thought, no way, and pulled out my phone. It was 4:36. I hurried up and grabbed the groceries and headed inside, immediately checking the clock on the microwave. It was now 4:38. In a state of disbelief, I asked my wife to pull out her phone and tell me what time it was. Confused, she did as I asked, and her phone said 4:38. I explained it all to her and she just kind of laughed it off, but to me, it was completely bizarre. This is the only time I've ever had this happen, and I still have no explanation for it. Somehow I traveled a 25 to 30 minute trip in 6 minutes. Almost a year later, and I am still at a loss. Anyone else ever had a time slip like this or something similar?